Hey guys, what's up? So it looks like the mass hysteria about Momo and the Momo challenge and showing up in kids' videos is finally over. They have actually tracked down the source and it is a hoax. So it looks like this actually originated on Twitter and just spread like wildfire. The local news groups actually just sort of took that story and ran with it to the point of bringing mass hysteria and creating this sort of viral, crazy hoax. Talk about serious trolling. Like, you cannot trust any of the media. Don't trust the media. Don't. This is why I need to stay away from the news. This is why I need to stay away from the news, because they will take a story and absolutely run with it without fact checking. And then we get fed this information and of course we think it's true. It was on the news. It was on the news and the news didn't even fact check it. And of course, so then the schools get wind of it and then they're passing out flyers and creating even more mass hysteria. And of course, with us parents already knowing and being aware that a lot of the supposed children's videos that are out on YouTube sometimes are not very appropriate for children. So with all that being said, I think this is an actual opportunity to learn. If we as parents are actually monitoring what our children are watching and keeping an eye on them and actually engaging with our children more, then maybe we wouldn't be so concerned about stuff like this. Because since my daughter is so young, I try to keep an eye on what she's watching. I have seen some really disturbing videos pop up. This isn't necessarily like Momo challenge type videos, but they're a little disturbing. I gotta say, it's a little disturbing to see things like from Mickey Mouse slaughtering Minnie Mouse to Peppa Pig taking a shotgun and taking out her whole family. That's not exactly what I want my child watching. And that's okay, because I can always report that to YouTube so that way they can make it to where it's either not showing up as kid friendly and not going to be on the kid YouTube app, or it's going to be taken down if they deem it to be too graphic and too inappropriate to even be on the platform. But wow, guys, we've been seriously trolled. Seriously trolled. And so many of us fell for it because, again, like I said, the actual local news crews took this story and ran with it. It was running rampant in our schools. Like, schools were actually passing out flyers warning parents about these videos that apparently don't actually exist. Except now there are a bunch of clips of Momo appearing in things like Peppa Pig and Fortnite videos, because of course they do. People wanted to see clips of the Momo challenge going on in these videos, so creators will create what the viewers want. If that's what the viewers want, that's what the creators make. I myself jumped on that bandwagon. I'm totally guilty of jumping on that bandwagon too, because whether or not it was true, it was concerning. Because parents out there need to know what their children are watching if they're young children. And that, to me, it's not the platform's job to make sure that our kids are not watching inappropriate things. It's our job as parents. And so I feel like this whole thing is sort of a learning opportunity for all of us parents out there to make sure that we're actually talking to our children and knowing what's going on with them and knowing what they're watching on TV or their iPads or their phones. I don't know why a young child would have a phone, but that seems to be a thing now, so I'm told. My kid doesn't have a phone. I won't let her touch my phone. But she does have access to the computer because, well, she has to do her homework somehow. And yeah, they're using computers in kindergarten for homework. Who saw that coming? So yeah, it looks like we've all been trolled. They have trolled the parents. They are feeding on our fears and our worries about not having all the control over what our children do, and preying on our fears and our need and our urge to protect our children and make sure that our children are safe at all times if we possibly can. They are preying on our fears. So I don't think I'll be watching the news anytime soon after all of this debacle. So yeah, have no fears. Well, there might be Momo videos now. There might be Momo videos in the middle of these cartoons now, because Well, yeah. Who would have thought? Big shocker, the news took a fake story from Twitter and just blew it up all over social media, all over the different news stations, and all over, I mean, I couldn't escape it. Everywhere I turned, if I went to the school, they were passing out flyers. If I went home and looked at my computer, it was all over the internet. If I turned on the TV, it was all over the TV. Couldn't escape the trolling. Could not escape the trolling. So anyway, guys, y'all are safe. There's no, I mean, we all know that Momo's fake and that Momo is just a statue. We as adults and probably the older children out there understand that Momo's not a real entity. Momo's not some little demonic thing that's going to come for you in the middle of the night. But there are real people that are going to take things like a creepy sculpture and turn them into creepy videos, because that's just what they do and that's just who those people are. But it definitely should never end up on the YouTube Kids app. And luckily, because this whole story was finally debunked and they finally found the source, now we know that that was not on the YouTube Kids app at all. So now we can all sleep a little bit easier tonight knowing that we don't have to worry so much about Momo just popping up and making a creepy appearance in the middle of a Peppa Pig video. At least hopefully not. Since the whole thing and the whole story did get so big, there's always the possibility that, of course, more people would troll us. But we as parents, we need to know that it is not YouTube's responsibility to keep an eye on our children. It's our responsibility to keep an eye on what our children are watching and try to be aware of what's going on in our own homes. When I was growing up, my parents never would have blamed HBO if I was watching inappropriate movies or TV. They would have blamed themselves and they would have blamed me. They would not have gone and blamed HBO, so I don't really understand why people are blaming YouTube for things like this. Because it's not the platform. Because any of these platforms, your kids could run across things that are inappropriate for their age group, which is why we need to make sure that they're watching age-appropriate content and that they have limited access to the internet until they are more of an appropriate age where they can kind of differentiate, where they can understand when something is obviously not real, like the Momo statue is not some demon that's popping up in videos. It would have been people making those videos and uploading them, just like any other video on YouTube. Just like somebody made that creepy Mickey Mouse video. So anyway, guys, I hope we can all sleep and rest a little bit easier knowing that this whole thing was a hoax. But like I said, let's take this opportunity to remember that we're the parents and that parents need to make sure that they are taking responsibility for what their kids watch, and that it is not up to YouTube, it's not up to Facebook, it's not up to any of these platforms, it's not up to the TV stations, it's up to us as parents. And parents need to step up and take that responsibility and not put the blame on the platforms. So anyway, guys, that's all I really have for y'all today. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.